Hello everyone, and welcome to my first video in my Minecraft plugin development series. In this first video, I'm going to be going through everything you need to know in order to get ready to start making your own plugins. So the first thing you'll need in order to start making plugins is an IDE. For the purpose of these tutorials, I'll be using IntelliJ, which can be found at this URL, which I'll also put in the description for you to get your hands on. So, once we've got IntelliJ installed and opened up, what we'll first do is go to File, Settings, Plugins, and then in this options area here, if you type Minecraft and install Minecraft Development, what this will allow you to do is when you go to create a new project here, we can select Minecraft on the left hand side, and whichever Minecraft development section you want to do, select it from here. For the purpose of these tutorials, we'll be selecting Spigot and hitting Next. So, what we would put in the group ID section is generally COM followed by an identifier for how you wish to identify your plugins. So in this tutorial, I'll be using T Brennan, and the artifact ID is what you'd like to name your plugin. So again, for the purpose of these tutorials, I'll put in tutorial. The version doesn't really matter as you can change it in other files, but we'll leave it as 1.0-snapshot for now, and then hit next. In here, you can add further details. So descriptions would be just tutorial plugin. You can set the author's website, and for when we're working with dependencies in later tutorials, we'll use these sections. But for now, you can press next and select where you'd like to put this. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I've already created that with the exact things I've shown you, and now we'll be moving into how to create our first plugin. Once you've created your project following the steps in the previous clip, you'll be presented with this. Here will be the name of whatever you've called it, and here will be the artifact ID and group ID that you've specified. So don't worry if these are different. So what these do is essentially, once you start the plugin, this will run. So in here, I generally like to put a log in the console to say enabled or certain information has been identified. And this function is what's called when the plugin shuts down or when the server stops. So in here, if you have constant running tasks, you may wish to cancel them or simply put a message to say it's shutting down. For the purpose of this tutorial, all we'll do is we'll add a quick message to the console once the plugin actually begins. So to do this, we'll first type bucket dot get console sender dot send message. And all this does is it allows you to send a message to the console, and you can do this in any class regardless. So for here, we'll just type this plugin has been enabled. And that's all we have to do for this section to have our very first plugin working. If you want, you can also put one in the on disable and change that to disabled. In the next clip, I'll show you how this runs on an actual test server. In order to actually get our plugin file, what we'd have to do is go over to this section under the Maven tab, open up Tutorial, Lifecycle, and then just double click the Package option. This should open up this tab at the bottom, and you don't really need to pay much attention unless errors are thrown here. So as we can see, it's been built in the total time. And where we'll find it is if we go into the Target section, and tutorial-1.0-snapshot.jar. The 1.0 and -snapshot will change depending on what you call it in the creation section. And what we can do from here is simply copy it or open it in Explorer to show the actual file here. Once we have our plugin file in our target directory, we can go ahead and open up our test server folder and go into the plugins folder and simply drag this over into there. And once we've done that, we can close the target directory and start our server. I've just added a quick start.bat to make this quicker. Once the server has started, we can see the default output from Spigot says tutorial enabling, and here is the message we've specified. This plugin has been enabled. And likewise, if we stop the server, we should see the message here, this plugin has been disabled. So that concludes the first video in this series on how to create your very first plugin. While this may not be particularly useful, it is important to understand in order to get the foundations for more advanced things we'll be doing in the next videos. In the next video in this series, we'll be covering how to create custom commands to do different functions. So if you'd like to see that, then make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and thank you very much for watching.